Her lipstick left a faint crimson print on the rim of her wine glass as she lifted it, eyes sparkling with cruel delight. "A toast," my wife said, her voice sweet but edged with venom. "To the man who pays the bills but will never be my true lover." Laughter burst around the table, harsh and jagged, as if shards of glass were tumbling across the linen. Her friends chuckled, smug in their approval. Her mother forced a stiff smile, the kind that didn't reach her eyes. Her father's brows drew together, heavy with unease. And me, the man at the center of her joke, the husband of 15 years, I raised my own glass with hands steady as stone. I had loved her with every fiber of my being. I had built her a life carved from sacrifice and devotion. Together, we had weathered youth's hunger, rented apartments, sleepless nights chasing dreams. I carried the weight so she could soar. I thought we were partners, a team bound by vows. But the woman I kissed each night whispered another man's name when she thought I wasn't listening. And I knew. I had known for months. That evening, while the table laughed, I set a small brass key upon the cloth. Its faint metallic chime cut through the noise. And beside it I slid a folded piece of paper. Before Rose could snatch it, her father's hand moved first. He unfolded the note, read the words, and his face drained as if the blood had abandoned him. His lips trembled when he looked at her. "Rose, tell me this isn't true." The silence that followed scraped against my chest like claws. 15 years earlier, she had been my light. We were young, broke, reckless with hope, yet she told me I made her feel safe, told me I was her forever. I believed it. I worked 2 jobs to see her through school. Later, when my business flourished, I gave her what she dreamed of, travel, jewels, a house that made her friends envy her. But the warmth in her eyes dimmed, affection cooled, laughter shifted to other men's voices. She began to guard her phone like a diary, smiling down at glowing screens and flipping them face down when I looked. I wanted to believe in her. I told myself I was paranoid, jealous without reason. But then came the Tuesday I arrived home early. Through the crack of our bedroom door, I heard her whispering, breathless, into her phone. One name. A name that carved itself into me like a blade. I didn't storm in. I didn't confront her. I simply turned, walked down the hall, and closed the front door softly, pretending I had just come home. That was the moment she lost me. Revenge is not born of rage. Rage is sloppy, reckless. Revenge is patience sharpened to steel. From that day, I worked in silence. I sifted through her messages, her calls, her pictures. She was careless, thinking me blind. Every detail, every hotel receipt, every midnight confession, I gathered it. And while she slept, I moved in shadows. Accounts shifted quietly from joint to private. Properties transferred. Investments protected. By the time she realized, there was nothing left to her name. The man she had chosen over me wasn't a stranger. He was younger, charming in the shallow way that fades when the bills arrive. But he was drowning. Debts piled around him, men at his door demanding what he couldn't pay. That was her great prize. The dinner was her idea, a stage she had set for my humiliation. She invited her parents, her friends, eager to prove she held me on a leash. She thought I would shrink under her cruelty. Instead, I let her raise her glass, let her spit her venom. Then I delivered my own toast, not in words but in action. I gave her the key. Her father opened the locker the next day. Inside, a folder filled with her betrayal. Emails, photographs, proof undeniable. Enough to ruin her in divorce court, yes, but worse, enough to stain her family's name. Her father's empire had been built on integrity, on legacy. To have his daughter exposed as a faithless wife clinging to a criminal drowning in debt? That wasn't mere shame. That was collapse. I can still see his eyes, dark with fury and heartbreak. "Rose," he whispered, voice shaking. "How could you?" She reached for me then, desperate, trembling hands pleading. But I remained still. My words were calm, flat, final. 15 years, Rose. I gave you everything. And you thought you could make me a fool. Tonight, you made yourself one. The unraveling was swift. Her father disowned her. Family accounts closed against her. Friends scattered, gossip clinging like smoke. The lover she had thrown away her crown for disappeared the moment her money ran dry. Chased out of the city by his own debts and threats. She dragged me to court, but she was unarmed. Every asset, every account, every brick of the life we'd built had already been secured in my name. She left with nothing but her shame. Even her name carried the stench of betrayal. Sometimes I replay it in my mind. The weight of that key on the table, the silence suffocating the laughter, her father's face draining of all color. That was the strike. Not fury, not violence. Truth timed with precision was the blade. What I learned is this: betrayal is not a ruin. It is an opening. A chance to reveal the cost of underestimating you. So when I lift my glass now, I do not toast her. I toast clarity. I toast freedom bought through patience. I toast the man who was mocked for signing the checks, because in the end he kept the last laugh.